Good evening, everyone. Thank you. At this time, I call to order our Board of Education business meeting, Monday, November 4th, 2013, at 7 p.m. All board members are here, I think. All board members are present. Dr. Morley will be back in shortly. Our Superintendent of Schools is here. Teacher Forum Council Steering Committee Representative Inez Colwell, David High. Teacher Forum Council Steering Committee Alternative Representative Donna Nelson, Carlene Pippins. DeKalb Auxiliary Employees Forum Representative Terrell Short. DeKalb County PTA Council, Miss Sabrine Mateen. Hey, did I get it right? Okay, thank you. Inspiration and Pledge of Allegiance, but after we do that, I want to make an acknowledgement. Mr. Thaddeus Mayfield, if you will. Turn your mic on.
Testing. Now, Mr. Chairman, we face many obstacles in life and we meet untold numbers of opportunities, many of which present themselves initially as a challenge. Many headlines we read speak of the challenges we see and experience and exasperations we feel in a rapidly changing world filled with more uncertainties than which we are comfortable. How can we improve employment, control spending, invigorate our struggling economy? How can we make the world a safer place, protect our citizens from mass violence, keep our children safe in school? How can we get government and private sector leaders to collaborate to make good on America's promise for all of its citizens? Even the headlines in our individual professional and personal lives. How can I close this deal? Fulfill the potential of a relationship? Teach my students to apply new concepts? Help my child make good life choices? How can DeKalb become one community, building a robust, well-integrated economy and tax base capable of funding the quality of life that we all aspire, that produces good jobs, safe and thriving communities, and great education and learning experiences for our children, one that builds on and leverages all our assets, both material and human, from all sectors of our county. The solutions often begin with a good self-assessment, good information, and good intent. Good thoughts, if you will. So to emphasize this point, I'd like to leave you with a few lines from one of my favorite poetic expressions called Good Thoughts, Bad Thoughts by Mr. George P.F. Clinton. Travel like a king. Listen to the inner voice. A higher wisdom is at work for you. Conquering the stumbling blocks come easier when the conqueror is in tune with the infinite. Every ending is a new beginning. Life is an endless unfoldment. Change your mind and you change your relation to time. You can find the answers. The solution lies within the problem. The answer is in every question. An attitude is all you need to rise and walk away. Inspire yourself. Your life is yours. It fits you like your skin. The oak sleeps in the acorn. The giant sequoia tree sleeps in its tiny seed. The bird waits in the egg. God waits for his unfoldment in man. You gravitate to that which you secretly love most. You meet in life the exact reproduction of your own thoughts. You rise as high as your dominant aspirations. You descend to the level of your lowest concept of yourself. The infinite intelligence within you knows the answer. Its nature is to respond to your thoughts. Be careful of the thought seeds you plant in the garden of your mind, for seeds grow after their own kind. Every thought felt as true, or allowed to be accepted as true by your conscious mind, takes root in your subconscious, blossoms sooner or later into an act, and bears its own fruit. Good thoughts bring forth good fruit. Free your mind, and your assets will follow. The pledge.
Great sorrow over the death of our friend and former colleague, Donna G. Adler. Ms. Adler's passion and commitment to the children and taxpayers of DeKalb County was evident as she regularly attended activities throughout the county. In her short term of service on the board, she never wavered in her commitment to improving education for all students. As a tireless champion for all children, her legacy of great care and concern will live on in her many accomplishments in education. We send our sincere condolences to her family. She will be missed. If you will, we would like to have a moment of silence. Thank you so very much. At this time, we will have recognitions. National School Psychology Week recognition.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Dr. Johnson, Board Chair, Mr. McMahon, Vice Chair, members of the Board, Superintendent Mr. Thurman. I am Angela Crawford, and I'm representing David Tremer, who's out tonight to do the presentation for the National School Psychologist Week recognition. With your permission, I'll read the proclamation. Whereas all children and youth learn best when they are healthy, supported, and receive an education that helps to develop their sense of belonging to a team at home and at school. And whereas schools can more effectively ensure that all students are able to learn and invested in their learning when they meet the needs of the whole child, and to encourage and provide opportunities to be a part of a team. And whereas children's mental health is directly linked to their learning and development, and the learning environment provides an optimal context to promote good mental health, and whereas sound psychological principles are integral to instruction and learning, social and emotional development, prevention, early intervention, and school safety, and supporting culturally diverse student populations, and whereas school psychology has over 60 years of well-established, widely recognized, and highly effective practice and standards that are clearly articulated in NASP's model for comprehensive and integrated school psychology services. And whereas school psychologists are specially trained to deliver a continuum of mental health services and academic supports that lower barriers to teaching and learning, and whereas school psychologists help children to become members of teams that nurture their individual strengths across both personal and academic endeavors, and whereas school psychologists are trained to assess student and school-based barriers to learning as well as individual strengths, utilize data-based decision-making, implement research-driven prevention and intervention strategies, and evaluate outcomes and improve accountability, and whereas citizens of DeKalb School District should recognize the vital role that school psychologists play in the personal and academic development of our district's children. Therefore, we, the DeKalb County Board of Education, do hereby proclaim November 11 through 15, 2013 as School Psychology Week in DeKalb County Schools.
If you want to come down front, we can take a picture, if you will.
You all are going to spoil the fun, Dr. Johnson. Education support professionals, please come forward. Dr. Johnson, members of the Board of Education, Mr. Thurman. As the front line of education begins with that first bus ride in the morning and ends when the custodian turns off the lights at night, as educators, we know the crucial role played by thousands of paraprofessionals, office workers, bus drivers, custodians, and maintenance staff in our schools. All told, education support professionals make up more than 40% of the employee population of the DeKalb County School District. In fact, it would be difficult to imagine a school going for one day without an education support professional. Once again, when we talk about strengthening our schools, we need to strengthen everyone who works within them. Along with recruiting and retaining quality teachers, we must recruit and retain quality education support professionals. To that end, we must honor and support the very people who spend their days making sure our students are safe, well-fed, and learning. Therefore, whereas public schools are the backbone of our democracy, providing young people with the tools they need to maintain our nation's precious values of freedom, Whereas education support professionals are an integral part of the education process. And whereas education support professionals who are bus drivers, monitors, mechanics, and routing specialists ensure the safe transportation of our students. Those education support professionals who work in the cafeteria provide nutritional meals. The educational support professionals who chose to be nurses provide medically for the students by giving prescribed medications when needed or Band-Aids for scraped knees. And whereas education support professionals who are custodial workers provide a clean environment for our students to learn. And the education support professionals in maintenance department provide safe surroundings for the students and staff alike. Education support professionals who are administrative assistants who provide support to administrators, students, parents, and staff. Whereas education support professionals who are paraprofessionals are an extra support for the students and teachers, while education support professionals who are media center specialists help the students to learn, to enjoy reading. Education support professionals who are bookkeepers keep the financial records updated and process payrolls for teachers and education support professionals. Whereas education support professionals who work tirelessly in the areas of clerical service, custodial and maintenance, food service, nursing, paraprofessionals, security, student support services, transportation services, skilled trades and technical services serve our community, our children with professionalism. Therefore, let it be known that the Board of Education, the DeKalb County Board of Education, supports and applauds the education support professionals in the DeKalb County School District for a job well done, and recognize Wednesday, November 20th, 2013 as Education Support Professionals Day in the DeKalb County School District. Mr. Thurman, Board of Education, Dr. Johnson, I present to you our education support professionals. Once again, we will recognize November 20th, 2013 for all education support professionals in the DeKalb County School District. Information will go out district-wide to all schools, all administrators, to make this a very special day for all of these individuals who stand before you, as well as thousands of others who support us every day in our endeavor to educate children. Thank you. We want to get a portrait. Okay, you got one? Thank you.
At this time, our superintendent will introduce us, make us a special introduction.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, I'm honored, pleased, and privileged to introduce our student representative tonight, Ms. Naima Ali, who is a 12th grade student. She's currently in the 12th grade at the DeKalb School of the Arts. Ms. Ali serves in many leadership capacities at DSA. She is Vice President of the Student Government Association, Treasurer of the Beta Club. She's a proud member of the National Honor Society and the DeKalb School of the Arts yearbook staff. She also serves as President of the Youth Usher Ministry at her church. Her hobbies include teaching piano, listening to music, composing her own music, and babysitting. Naima would like to attend, no surprise here, Spelman College. Any Spelman Knights in the audience? All right, Dr. Tinsley. And pursue a career in medicine as a pediatrician. When asked why she would like to serve as a student representative on the DeKalb Board of Education, she stated that she is a self-motivated student with a desire to bring about positive changes beneficial to her school, environment, and to the community at large. Let's give a round of applause for Ms. Naima Ali.
And I might add, we encourage you to ask questions and make any comments. Our vice chair says it's mandatory that you ask questions. At this time, I call for a motion to amend our agenda to remove items C1 and number 13. And that is the waiver as well as the policy recommendation. Moved by Mr. Orson, second by Mr. McMahon. All in favor? Let's vote. All right. Did we get everybody? Okay, it's coming up now. Well, I'll vote again. Dr. Irwin? You got? Oh man. Okay, it passes. 9-0. All right. Thank you very much. At this time, I call for a motion to approve the amended agenda. Moved by Dr. Irwin, second by Mr. McMahon. All in favor, let me know by show of votes. I got in the habit of. Okay, we're good. All right, it passes 9-0. Okay, superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Before I present the report, I would, on behalf of my family and particularly my wife Zola, want to express our appreciation to the board and to the members of our DeKalb County family for your kindness and your condolences during the passing of her mother this past week. It was great comfort for those who she may not have met personally to reach out to her. Mr. Chair, I want to thank you all for that. First, on my superintendent's report, I would like to call on Dr. Keisha Ward-Smith, who's the Chief of Human Resources, and Dr. Tova Jackson-Davis, who is a write-in person as Director of Office of Employment Services, and they would like to present to the board and to the DeKalb County School District an exciting, innovative, really earth-shattering initiative that's going to transform, I think, the culture in DeKalb County, will bring people together, and it will be an initiative and a project that will be emulated by school districts all across this country in the near future. Dr. Ward-Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Thurman. Once again, Dr. Johnson, members of the board, Mr. Thurman, everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subjects and verbs agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. Once again, members of the board, I present to you Project DOS Connect. And DOS Connect stands for District Office Schools Connect. Please note that once again, in support of the Bridge Initiative, to bridge the central office employees with the school, we've come up with this exciting new initiative whereby more than 150 central office employees will donate more than 5,000 man-hours to schools and students in Region 5 during the 2013-2014 school year. We're specifically focusing on Region 5 as the superintendent has directed our efforts, and we're also going to pull in Elizabeth Andrews and I believe DeKalb Alternative. But once again, in support of the superintendent's vision, recommendations from the MLA Governance Review and the district's Bridge Initiative, central office employees will form valuable and sustainable connections to foster greater collaboration between the district office and the schools. Employees have formed teams of 5 to 7 members. We had a meeting about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we actually provided you with an agenda of the meeting where we brought together more than 150 employees from the central office, and they are excited about the collaborations. These individuals form teams of 5 to 7 members and were assigned to support a select school all the way up until May 30th, 2014. Employees are encouraged to volunteer up to 40 hours or between 20 and 40 over the course of the year to support any number of projects as determined by building administration. This program is designed on the premise that the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. What we provided once again for you is our actual agenda in our program, and I'm going to bring forth Dr. Davis to briefly go through the information that we shared. But once again, please know that our principals are excited, our employees, our central office employees are excited as they were offered the opportunity to come together to connect, to support schools. So once again, Dr. Davis.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. To our board, Mr. Thurman, thank you. As Dr. Smith has stated, we are very excited about Project DOS Connect. When given this charge, we were excited to come up with some initiative to assist with breaking down the barriers and bridging the gap between central office and the schools. We have met with over 150 central office personnel. We've assigned them to the teams, and they have begun connecting with the Region 5 schools in addition to DeKalb Alternative School and Elizabeth Andrews. These teams have been provided an in-service outlining the goals and the mission of Project DOS Connect. In addition, they've also been given recommended projects to implement within their schools. By May 2014, our district office personnel will have given more than 5,000 man-hours back to our schools, and we are truly optimistic about the impact that this initiative will have on DeKalb for years to come. Not just this year with Region 5, but we look forward to implementing this, sustaining this project for years to come within DeKalb. In your binder before you, you'll notice that this is the actual binder that was given to the staff members on the first meeting, October 18th. It outlines the mission and the goals of Project DOS Connect. It also gives the team charge, focuses on the team leader, explaining to the team leader what their roles are. And I'll tell you, these team leaders are so excited. They have taken this project to another level. They are very serious in meeting with their teams and getting with the principals and connecting with those schools. There's a log inside your booklet that each team member has a log where we can document the hours and the projects that are being done within the schools, and then the recommended projects. We wanted to provide you with this information because we are so excited and optimistic about what Project DOS Connect is going to do for DeKalb. Thank you.
And lastly, I would just like to close in stating that we've actually had a vendor to sign on to donate about $5,000 in support of this project, as projects such as teacher appreciation, small beautification projects, anything that the teams would like to do to enhance and support schools. That's why we are there. So once again, we have a number of individuals, and may I have all of my Project DOS Central Office team members to stand at this time, everyone who's a member of Project DOS Connect. We are connecting with schools. Thank you once again.
And Mr. Chairman, Dr. Ward Smith, and just to break it down, we will have central office staff, employees volunteering in the schools.
Yes, sir.
And I just want to be on the record, because I've already shared with Dr. Ward Smith, my first volunteer effort will be working in the cafeteria.
Yes, sir.
Right? At one of our schools, yet to be named, right? But that will be my first job.
Very good.
And if board members would like to come and
They should contact me.
help me in the
Mr.
lunchroom on a specific day, I need some help, right?
Okay, perfect.
Always
Perfect. We'll
dishes to be
sign up.
washed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you,
We got Mr.
Smith.
McMahon,
Okay.
Dr. Ward Smith,
Yes,
you
sir.
got
We'll
the
sign them
name?
up. We will sign them up. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you,
you so
Dr.
much.
Ward Smith.
School district flexibility and accountability in Georgia.
Dr. Johnson, members of the board, and Mr. Thurman, thank you very much for the time to speak to you tonight about an exciting opportunity for the future of the DeKalb County School District. I would like to take a few moments this evening to share with you the district's proposed timeline as it relates to the flexibility options being afforded to each district across the state by the state legislature and the Georgia Department of Education. According to Title 20 of the Georgia Code, school districts have been given the option to request increased flexibility from the Georgia Department of Education in Title 20 or remain as they currently operate under the confines of Title 20 and DOE policy. As noted before you, OCGA 20-2-81.3 states that no later than June 30th, 2015, each local school district shall notify the Department of Education of its intention to request increased flexibility pursuant to this article or shall comply with subsection B of Code Section 20-2-80. This subsection of 20-2-80 allows a local system to decide not to request increased flexibility in exchange for increased accountability and defined consequences and opt to remain under current laws, rules, regulations, policies, and procedures. There are currently three major options available to school districts regarding the flexibility just discussed, with three secondary options being available as well. These three major options are investing in educational excellence school system, or an IE squared school system, charter system, or status quo school system, with the three secondary options being a system of charter clusters, a system of charter schools, or a strategic school system. These options were presented in much greater detail to the board at its July 1 work session. However, a general description of these options would focus on the waiver allowances from Title 20 and defining the petitioner if applicable. However, for this evening's purposes, the focus is on the district's timeline in exploring and applying these options. The timeline has been separated into 4 separate stages so as to allow the board to better see how the district will complete the task before it. The first stage focuses on the remainder of this calendar year. It begins with tonight's presentation and then moves into the creation of the Flexibility Advisory Committee, or FAC for short, and the start of the FAC's meetings to review the flexibility options previously described. The FAC will review elements associated with the best flexibility option for the district, including, but not limited to, waivers from Title 20, fiscal impact, governance implications, accountability and performance evaluations, and consequences. The FAC will hold its first meeting no later than December 13th, and it may be comprised of employees, board members, and other community and parent representatives. Of further importance is the alignment of the strategic planning process with the work of the FAC. As Phase 1 of the strategic planning process is completed, the district's finalized mission, vision, beliefs, and strategic goals will become a part of the FAC's decision-making process. Stage 2 of the timeline will focus on January 2014 until May 1, 2014, when the district must submit its letter of intent to the Department of Education. The work of the FAC will continue as a final recommendation is drafted and presented to the superintendent on March 1. This recommendation will then be presented to the board on April 14, 2014, and work will begin immediately should the IE squared or charter option be selected. As the process moves forward, any necessary documents drafted by the district will be reviewed and monitored by the FAC to ensure compliance with Georgia DOE requirements, as well as making certain that the original vision for district flexibility, as determined by the external and internal stakeholder members of the FAC, remains intact. As an additional point of alignment with the strategic planning process, Phase 2 will be underway during this flexibility stage, and development of both school and regional improvement plans will be monitored by the FAC. The third stage of this process will occur from May 2014 until October 31st, 2014. It is during this stage when the timelines for the three options begin to separate somewhat, and associated due dates are dependent upon the flexibility option selected. For this reason, colors are used during the stage to assist in separating the various actions and deadlines, with light blue representing the charter option, light orange representing the IE squared option, and light green representing the status quo option. For the charter option, drafting of the charter petition would continue during May, June, and July, with the petition being completed and presented to the board for adoption in August 2014. During August and September, 2 required public hearings for the charter petition would be conducted by the board, and the petition would be submitted to the DOE on October 31st, 2014. The IE squared option would require a meeting with the Georgia Department of Education and the district in July, and the board holding a required public hearing on the IE squared option in August. By September 2014, the district would begin negotiations with the Georgia Department of Education, as well as the Governor's Office of Student Achievement in some respects, regarding the IE squared performance contract. Should the status quo option be selected, a required public hearing would be held in July, and the appropriate documentation with the Georgia Department of Education would be completed. The final stage of the timeline focuses on the window from November 2014 until June 2015. It is during this time that documents provided to the Georgia Department of Education are reviewed and forwarded to the State Board of Education with appropriate recommendations from the DOE. By July 1, 2015, the district will begin to operate under its selected flexibility option. I want to thank you again for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. The district is very excited about the flexibility option and working within this timeline to determine the best option for our students, parents, and staff of the DeKalb County School District.
Thank you, Mr. Arnold. Have any questions?
Any questions from anyone? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Arnold.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I would like to reiterate this is a very exciting opportunity for the DeKalb School District under state law to use innovation and flexibility in a holistic district-wide way that I think could ultimately significantly impact academic performance and achievement for all the students of DeKalb. June 30th is not that far away, and one of the things I'm most excited about is this flexibility process will align with our strategic planning process so that it will work together to ultimately, I believe, produce a much more innovative, effective, and successful district, pending, of course, on the board's approval of one of the flexibility options.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Next, advanced ed status report.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Members of the board, Mr. Thurman, good evening. You have in front of you a one-page summary, and I'm going to be jumping around this page, so if you will, just stay with me. First of all, we want to let you know that on today, Monday, November the 4th, is our 35-day countdown to the visit by Advanced Ed Monitoring Team. In exactly 5 weeks, on December 9th, they will be here to begin the process of a one-year review of the DeKalb County School District and its work to complete the 11 required actions and the directives that accompany that after our 6-month visit. What we want to share with you is that the internal teams are continuing to finalize the work and to complete that work in preparation for that visit. On last Wednesday, October 30th, 2013, we had the opportunity to conduct a trial run with our Advanced Ed Technical Assistance Team. As you know, we have had 2 individuals assigned to the DeKalb School District, and they have been our critical friends and our partners as we have been doing the work to prepare for our December visit. They were with us for almost 3 hours on last Wednesday, and they had the opportunity to have all of the co-chairs do a report out of the work that we have done and to present our work product to them and all the things that we believe that we have completed in preparation for that visit. The presentations of that work product included the district presenting its evidence and the artifacts to show that we have completed our action plans, we have done the required training, we have executed the plans, and we are ready for that visit in December. We also took them through how we will sustain those efforts over time, because it's not just good enough for them to pop in, spend 2 days with you, hear the right buzzwords, but what they're really looking for is how will you as a district sustain the efforts that you say you are doing, and how would that contribute towards continuous improvement for academic achievement over time. We also peeled back every single directive and took them through all of the steps that we did to work as a team, to work as a district, and how we have gone out into our schools to ensure that that work reaches all the way to the classroom. It's very important for SACS to understand that all of this work connects back into the 5 standards. And I know you know the 5 standards. Number 1, purpose and direction. What is your vision for your school district? Number 2, do you have good governance and great leadership? Number 3, teaching and learning. Is that your primary focus for your students in your county? Number 4, how do you use results? What are your metrics on how you spend your money? How do you tie back those things that you say you want to purchase and you make recommendations to the board, and how does your board use those metrics in informing of how we spend that money? And then number 5, resources and support systems. Do you use adequate resources, and do you take full advantage of the resources and the support systems to support academic achievement? We had to connect all of our work to those standards so that they understand over this period of time, in time when all of us will be gone, that the school district will thrive. And then finally, we had to tell them through our trial run, where do you stand today? We understand that the team will be back in 5 weeks, but right now, Wednesday, October 30th, where do you stand? We have marked ourselves as complete. Now, we will continue the work over the next 5 weeks to prepare for that visit, but we are in the stage of 95 to 100%, and we will be at 100% when they arrive in 5 weeks. Now, what does that roadmap look like for the next 5 weeks, over the next 35 days? Well, today, between now, today, November the 4th, and November the 21st, we will continue the work to finalize the plan. On or before November 22nd, it is our intent to submit our institution progress report to Advanced Ed. That is required 2 weeks before they arrive in the district, so that the visiting team can go through all of the information and be ready to come and see if our work on paper matches our action on site. On December the 2nd, we will come back to the board at the December 2nd board meeting, and Mr. Thurman, we would like to request a committee of the whole so that each co-chair can give a full report to the board on every single required action and directive. The same thing we did for our advanced technical assistant team, we would like to do for this board, and we're going to ask you to be patient, because sometimes that information is not always the most exciting thing when you're peeling back and you're really going through laborious reports. But it's important for you to hear, see, feel, and witness the work that has happened all the way from the boardroom with the strategic plan all the way to the classroom with a comprehensive assessment system. And so, if you will, with your approval and your support, we would like to do that on December 2nd. After that, the 3rd through the 5th will be down to the wire. And we will be doing the final preparations for SACS to arrive on the evening of December the 8th, and they will interview a host of people, including yourselves, the 9-member board, the superintendent, Mr. Thurman, individuals here at this building, principals in school, and yes, parents and community members. And then, of course, we go live. On the 9th and the 10th, they will finish their work, and then they'll leave without a word. And they'll get in touch with us somewhere between 30 to 45 days, and at that time, we will claim victory. And so, as we conclude this report for tonight, I would ask for you to get ready for us to come back on December 2nd and to give you that full-blown, peeled-back report on every one of those required actions so you can hear from the co-chairs of everything that we've done to prepare for the visit on December 9th. Thank you.
Great job. We appreciate it very much.
That'll preach, Ms. Tyson.
Amen. Okay, strategic plan update.
All right, Dr. Pringle, present our update on our strategic planning process.
Good evening, Dr. Johnson, members of the board, and Mr. Thurman. Thank you for this opportunity to provide the monthly report for Required Action 11, the district's strategic planning process. I have with me this evening our planning team leaders and members of the Strategic Action Plan team. I would like to, number one, provide you with an overview of the planning model to frame the work of the action team members. Number two, share a draft of the 5 distinct goal areas. And number three, provide a progress report on the deliverables for the plan. First, please refer to the visual before you titled DCSD Strategic Planning Model. There it is. I'm happy to report that we are near complete phase 1. This model has 2 phases in the immediate before us, and then phase 3 and 4 apply to the school level work. But phase 1 is divided into community input, which is ongoing, the work of the planning team, whose members presented to you last month, and the work of the action teams. The action teams are led by 2 to 3 employees closest to the work and supported by a regional superintendent. Their work is tedious and research-based. They will spend hours around 4 levels of the strategic plan. And those 4 levels are the strategic plan goal areas, the performance objectives, the initiatives, and the action steps. Please note that a glossary of terms is posted on our website for the public. I would like to introduce our planning team members along with the region superintendent working with each area as I review the 5 draft goals. First, I would like to begin with student success and student achievement. That is led by Stacy Stebney, Director of Department of Curriculum and Instruction, Oliver Lewis, Director of Professional Learning, Terry Brown, Principal of Pleasantdale Elementary, and Cynthia Brixton, Region 1 Superintendent. Goal Area 2, Staff Efficacy and Excellence, is led by Christopher Clayton, Director of the Department of Curriculum and Instruction, Dr. Cavius Preston, Director of Allotments and Scheduling, Trenton Arnold, Region 3 Superintendent. Stakeholder Engagement is Goal Area 3. Goal Area 3 is led by Marcia Coward, Family Engagement Liaison, Thaddeus Dixon, Principal of Miller Grove, and Dr. Kenneth Bradshaw. The next goal area is Internal and External Communications. Mr. Quinn Hudson, Director of Communications, is our lead there, along with Sandra Nunez, Director of English Language Studies, and Monica Davis, who is currently at a SACS conference. That support comes from Rachel Ziegler, Region 5 Superintendent. The last goal area proposed is Operational and Organizational Effectiveness. This is led by Connie Walker, Assistant Director for Nutrition, Joyce Wimberly, Executive Director for School Nutrition, and Linda Woodard, Staffing Administrator. Please be mindful, as indicated on the slide, the strategic goal areas provide a framework that describe the district's mission and vision. It carries forth the work. It highlights how we will accomplish our mission for the district. I think it's important to recognize that each one of these teams consist of 10 to 12 additional members. We have Dr. Alexander with us tonight and Dr. Sagers. These 12 members work to conduct the research, review the data, synthesize the community input to ensure that we are aligned with the direction that is proposed by the planning team. And the thing that I find so just incredibly amazing is the dedication and the engagement of these team members. Usually your teams consist of 7 to 9 members per team. You really want to keep the team small. You want to maintain the focus. We decided on 12 members because we knew the work was huge, we knew research would be involved, and we knew this was in addition to their daily task. We figured 5 or 6 may drop off. The work might be just a little too much. Not a single person has left our team. Not a single person has walked away to say this work is too much. Not a single person has walked away to say that this work is not important to my day-to-day task. They are committed. They work beyond their school day. They work on the weekends to ensure that we have a good product to present to you in the very end. And our entire team will be with us in November. Over the next 2 weeks, the work of the action teams will be reviewed by the planning team. Those directives have already gone out. They will vet the work that has been conducted by the action teams. Our senior team will divide the targets. They will support and coach us through those performance measures to ensure that we have a quality balanced scorecard that is aligned. We also have begun the work with McKenna, Long, and Aldridge to work on the accountability plan. The accountability plan that really promotes ownership and engagement in the process. Finally, before you should have the DeKalb County District Strategic Plan report that was provided to you last month. And you will recall the green indicates complete, the yellow will indicate in progress, orange not started, and the red is delayed. This is posted on our website for our public, and it shows that we are ahead of schedule. At this time, this concludes the strategic planning report. Thank you.
Is there any discussion? Or? No comments? Mr. Superintendent, you always have comments.
No, sir. I can't think of anything at this moment. Excellent job, Dr. Brown. And also to your team leaders, thank you all so much for volunteering and being here tonight. You all are doing an excellent job, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
The entire staff did an excellent job. At this time, I call for a motion to approve the consent agenda. Moved by Dr. Morley, second by Mr. Orson. At this time, is there any discussion? At this time, I call for the vote. Got you, Dr. Morley. That's it. Approved 9-0. Okay. All right. Before I call for board member comments, I'm going to ask our new board member, Ms. Ali, if you would make some remarks or have a comment.
I actually have a question, but it's not pertaining to...
Go right ahead.
Okay. Because of the Affordable Care Act, substitutes can now only work a limited number of hours each month. As the month draws to an end, there are often days when a class doesn't have a substitute. Is the district aware of this, and is there a plan to address it?
Dr. Ward Smith, I think that relates to your area of expertise.
Good question.
Excellent question. Yes, in the last...
Can you repeat it so that everyone...
Yes, sir. The Affordable Care Act, Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, on October 1st, we were required to notify all individuals who were part-time or other employees of the district of their rights. As it relates to employee penalties, please note that come January of 2015, any employees that we determine, full-time, part-time, or other, who qualify for benefits, health care benefits, then the district is required to provide those benefits. We started this year with a new substitute time management process. And with that particular time management process, we want subs to basically monitor their hours. We're limiting part-time subs, non-certified subs, to a total of 16 days per month. However, subs who retire under the teacher's retirement system, it is unlimited. Please keep in mind that this will assist with costs that will be associated with the implementation of the Act. In an effort to increase our pool of certified subs, and thank you so much for that question, we did a mail out of over 800 invitations to every teacher that retired over the last 5 years and invited them to come back and sub. We had about 75 of those individuals who took us up on that. In addition to that, we also streamlined the process whereby we did an analysis and looked at, of our 1,192 subs, how many actually went beyond 16 days per month. Because when you multiply 16 times 10, you have 160 days. So teachers only work 185 days. If we're going to allow subs to work 160 days, we did an analysis of our 1,192 subs to say how many of those individuals actually worked beyond 160 days last year, and it was less than 60. So basically what we're looking to do, we have forwarded information to our teachers. I send a reminder out each month. Please look at your timely notification for requesting a sub. We did an additional analysis to say, okay, if you request a sub in advance, how many subs are picking up? So basically, we're asking teachers to put their request into SubFinder in a timely manner. And last but not least, we have hired more than 200 subs over the last month and a half. And those 200 subs, whereby they were allowed to select preferences where they wanted to go, we have stated when you sign on with DeKalb, you're essentially signing up to be a sub throughout the entire district. So we believe that with those measures in place, we will have substitute teachers who will pick up jobs. Also, for November and December, the subs can work the entire months of those particular months because it's 16 days or less. So basically, information, working with the substitute teachers, as well as informing the teachers of timely notification instead of waiting until the last moment to put the jobs into our SubFinder system, asking that they put them in as soon as foreseeable, in addition to inviting our retired subs to return, as well as once again providing information for retired individuals. We're asking that, or we're hopeful or prayerful that those measures will assist.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for a good answer, and thank you, Ali, for a wonderful, great question. Other board members with comments? Sorry.
Follow up to this. We had talked at one point briefly about sometimes an issue with substitutes not showing up because they find a better job in another system, and I just wondered if there's a kernel of an idea here that might serve that purpose, which is making sure that subs who pick up a job and then don't show up because they get a higher paying job, and also working within the limits. If we partnered with some of these other systems to both ensure when somebody picks up a job, but also if they have people on their list who have reached the limit in one system, they're not precluded from coming to another system.
That is correct. However, just the actual collaboration with other districts and actually having employees on separate rosters is somewhat challenging, but thank you so much, and I do remember that conversation, Mr. Orson.
Other board comments? Hearing none, I would like to ask that you would read your announcements on your agenda. And at this time, I call for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Mr. Coleman, second by Dr. Carter. Is there any discussion? A call for the vote. Dr. Marley? Dr. Marley? You want to vote?
Because you move so fast.
I'm sorry. Okay. We can take this vote, and then as soon as you make this vote, you can make the announcement. All right, it passes 9-0. Make your announcement, if you will.
Good evening.
Good evening.
In line with the superintendent's bridge program and the project that we've talked about, looking at the statistics that were unveiled at the June 2013 Leadership Conference, it was unveiled that in District 7 and Region 5, we have the lowest parent involvement rate and we have the lowest student achievement rate. So in line with those figures and facts, what we decided to do, along with the Superintendent's Bridge Project, is to develop a parent education awareness and empowerment day. We put a lot of work into this. We've been working since September to put this day together. The day is November 23rd. There'll be some flyers on the outside, and we do have flyers for the board members. We're looking for the board and parents, the community to come out. One of the greatest tragedies and travesties of being able to work with our children is not having our parents involved. So this day is for parents. The day will be November the 23rd again at Georgia Piedmont Technical College in the Conference Center. It will be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. that Saturday. We have Donna Lowry from 11 Alive who is going to moderate that day. We have food. We have workshops. We have entertainment. We're going to be giving prizes out. But the major thing is helping parents to understand what was it like when they were in school, comparing and contrasting the difference between when they were in school and their children in school now. One other workshop that we're going to be looking at is how do they navigate the district. Too often parents don't know how to be able to reach the right person, where to go. The first place they want to go is to the board. And so what we're going to have them to be able to help them to work through is how do I be able to get my questions answered? And what the board and the district is saying, yes, there are some times that we have fallen short. We have not done the things that we need to do. We want to have these parents to come together, have an opportunity to understand what do I need to do, who do I contact, and how would I get the answers I need to have? How do I get a phone call returned? Those sorts of things. The third workshop for that day will be looking at stress. How do I manage my stress? But how do I prioritize that my child is more important than some of the other things? How do I get that all together? So we have a wonderful day planned. We're looking at 500 parents. We need your help to get them out. It lines up right with the Bridge Initiative. This is parent engagement, parent involvement. We need your help. Thanks to Dr. Tinsley, Marcia Coward, the superintendent, for allowing this to take place. It is going to be a wonderful day. Please make sure you get flyers, and you can go to www.empoweringdecabparents.com. www.empoweringdecabparents.com. You can get parents to register there. We need you to get the word out. All the principals have been notified. We're getting flyers out into the community, and we want this to be a day that the parents won't forget. It's not about us, it's about the children, but we can't help our children until we help our parents. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Marley, and you have our full support. At this time, we are adjourned.